Welcome to the Simplify Your Life podcast. It's Coach Simona, and I'm glad you decided to tune in. Hey everyone! In today's podcast episode, we're going to talk about how to stop letting things bother you. And I'm going to share with you my 3-step framework on how to not let things bother you. I'm also going to share with you a special bonus tip in the end, so make sure to stick around. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Simona, certified life coach and author of the book 111 Ways to Simplify Your Life. I make weekly podcast episodes on personal development, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe. Now, before we get into my 3-step framework on how to stop letting things bother you, let's talk about some of the possible reasons why this is still happening. One of the possible reasons is you haven't taken good care of your needs. When you haven't slept well, you haven't had time to eat lunch, or you haven't been able to pay attention to yourself, it's very easy to get triggered by external events and circumstances. So when you're analyzing what may be the cause for letting things bother you on a particular date or occasion, make sure to first check in with yourself about your physical and emotional needs. Another possible reason why you let things bother you is you're being too reactive. When you feel like everything around you is triggering you, that may be a sign that you constantly feel the need to react. When you're being in a reactive mode, your body is in a constant state of fight or flight, and you're letting a lot of things in instead of focusing on yourself. And the last possible reason I'm going to mention on why you're letting things bother you is because you're taking things way too personally. Pay attention to your triggers. If you're sensitive to criticism or you can't let other people be mad at you for more than 2 seconds, that is a sign you're letting things bother you because you're taking them too personally. When you take things personally, even the smallest remark or reaction from someone else can trigger you in a negative way. You may assume that they have bad intentions or feelings towards you, and that's what's actually bothering you. Now, there can be many more reasons for letting things bother you, but I think we've covered the main ones. So let's get into my first tip on how to stop letting things bother you. Analyze your inner state. When something is bothering you, it's important to acknowledge what's happening in your mind and your body, and then choose to react accordingly or not react at all. So how can you do that? Let's say your partner asked you a question but interrupted you while you were answering. Now, in that situation, you can monitor your inner state by asking yourself the following questions. 1. What thoughts or images went through my head? 2. What emotions did I feel as a result of that? 3. What actions did I take after that? 4. How can I handle the situation better in the future? Now let's go back to our example. Let's say your partner interrupted you. Maybe you thought to yourself, they don't respect me, or my opinion doesn't matter. Maybe you felt angry, frustrated, disappointed, or even sad. The actions you took were you started screaming at them, or perhaps you completely shut down and started ignoring them. And how you can handle the situation better in the future is you can tell them how you felt when they interrupted you, without being aggressive or dramatic. Or you can simply choose to ignore it by acknowledging that they didn't mean to hurt you in any way. They just got excited to share their opinion and spoke over you. And this is a trigger from the past that has nothing to do with them. Now, if you want a free worksheet where you can answer these questions for any problem that happens in your life, make sure to click the link in the description box below or simply visit bit.ly/thoughtrecord2. My second tip is to pause and take a deep breath before reacting. When you feel your heart racing or your anxiety is off the charts and you're about to say or do something that is based on emotion, not reason, I want you to imagine hitting the pause button. If you're in a heated argument, for example, you can do one of the following things. You can tell the other person that you want to pause the conversation and you're going to discuss it when you're both feeling calmer. Or you can simply say that you feel triggered and you need some time to reflect on that. Now, let's say you're not reactive towards someone else, but you got triggered by the circumstances, and you're about to do something that you're gonna regret later. I want you to hit the pause button again and do the following. Regardless of whether you're engaging with other people or you're alone, I want you to take 10 deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. I promise you, you will be in a much clearer state of mind by the end of it. Although it may seem like an easy fix, remembering to hit the pause button before reacting to something that's bothering you is easier said than done. So I want you to be patient with yourself and keep trying it out until it becomes second nature. Now, if you often struggle with anxiety and racing thoughts, I have many podcast episodes on calming down your mind. And I've also made a YouTube video on advanced techniques for managing anxious thoughts. So if you want to watch it after this one, make sure to head over to youtube.com/Coach Simona. I will also leave a link in the description box below. My next tip is to be kind and compassionate towards yourself. If you're judging yourself for being too sensitive or too reactive to external things, you are showing yourself that you cannot be trusted. There is no one else that can hurt you the way that you hurt yourself in your head. So I want you to be kind and compassionate towards yourself next time you react to something that you thought you wouldn't get triggered by anymore. Now the question is, how do you start practicing self-compassion if you've never done it before? Or perhaps you've tried some things but nothing really worked. The first step towards self-compassion is to stop criticizing yourself whenever you feel emotions or you take things personally, and dedicate some time to address them. You can call it a worry time, a cry break, or anything else that sounds more like you. If you don't want to react immediately because you feel like it's an appropriate time at work, or you simply don't want to deal with your feelings until you've calmed down, set a separate worry time later on in the day. All you need to do is take 10 minutes to reflect on your feelings you felt earlier. You can journal, feel the emotions, or use the free cheat sheet I mentioned in the beginning of this episode. The entire purpose of being compassionate with yourself is to start accepting yourself for exactly who you are, no matter how you're reacting, feeling, or acting. Every feeling you have is valid, and everything that's triggering you is pointing you towards unhealed trauma, so pay close attention to it. You would be surprised how much you can find about yourself if you simply sit in silence for 10 minutes and give yourself some time and space to honor your feelings. Be gentle and kind to yourself, like you would treat a friend. Progress takes time, so you need to be patient with yourself throughout this process. Will things still bother you even after you've worked on yourself? Of course they will. But you will know what to do when it happens, and you will be able to manage your emotions better. Now, the key to improving the relationship you have with yourself is to be soft, gentle, and kind towards yourself. I know that all of these things can seem a bit overwhelming at first. That's why I want to help you build a healthy and loving relationship with yourself. I'm actually working on something that's going to help you stop letting things bother you by focusing on yourself and becoming your best friend. Doors are opening very soon, so I want to invite you to join the secret waitlist. If you want to be the first to know and get your hands on some exclusive bonuses, just click the first link in the description box below or simply visit bit.ly/thesecretwaitlist. I also have a bonus tip for you. Observe the situation like a stranger. When you feel bothered by external things or people, that means that you're listening to a story that's happening in your mind. You're not really listening to what the other person is saying. You're not paying attention to their feelings, their true motivation, and maybe you're taking things way more personally than you should. Next time something bothers you, I want you to detach yourself from your own inner world for a while and observe the situation like a stranger. Zoom out and see all of the people involved in the situation, like someone who doesn't know you or the other person, and they have no idea about your stories and backgrounds. What would they see, hear, and observe? Be mindful of what's happening around you so that you can see the situation more objectively. Whether you feel triggered by something someone said or something that happened around you, you can still choose to stop listening to your inner narrative and look around. Observe what's happening outside your head. Put the focus outside of yourself for a minute or two. Then you will be able to make a more rational decision and ultimately achieve a better outcome. And if you need more help with that, make sure to listen to episode 152 next. I will leave a link below. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this episode helpful, please like it. And subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on my weekly podcast episodes. I'm sending you all my love, and I'll talk to you in the next one.